ceasefire with Iran is still intact, and Operation Epic Fury, launched in late February,
is over. And the claim comes despite the United Arab Emirates saying it has come under drone and missile attacks from Iran for a second day in a row, with one drone penetrating air defences and striking an oil port. US and Iranian forces have launched attacks in the Gulf of Oman yesterday, with the White House claiming its forces sunk 6 Iranian gunboats. US Defence Secretary Pete Hegseth told journalists the operation to restore freedom of navigation to the Strait of Hormuz, dubbed Project Freedom, is separate and distinct from Operation Epic Fury.
President Trump has directed U.S. Central Command to restart the free flow of commerce through the Strait of Hormuz under the umbrella of Project Freedom. To be clear, this operation is separate and distinct from Operation Epic Fury. No, the ceasefire is not over. Ultimately, this is a separate and distinct project, and we expected there would be some churn at the beginning, which happened. And we said we would defend and defend aggressively, and we absolutely have. Iran knows that.
Mr. Oman are now strictly defensive and told reporters that no country can be allowed to control an international waterway.
We are only responding if attacked first. This is a defensive operation, and that's what's occurring here. Just about the importance of the Straits for a moment. This is approximately a quarter of the world's oil trade, along with significant volumes of fuel and fertilizer that operate through the Straits of Hormuz. The Iranian regime cannot be allowed to dictate who uses this vital waterway. There is no international law that allows you to say, I'm going to put mines in an international body of water and I'm going to blow up ships that don't listen to us and try to go through. That's what Iran is doing. This is a criminal act, and someone needs to do something about it.
Now from Washington, John, how convincing are these claims from the White House?
Well, Gemma, we're getting very mixed messages here. In fact, sort of breaking news for the viewers. A few minutes ago, President Trump put out another announcement on his Truth Social site where he's suspending that Project Freedom, which we've just heard Secretary Hegseth talk about, which was US Navy trying to escort US flag ships through the Strait of Hormuz. They've only managed to do 2 ships, given there's about 2,000 or so that are stranded. It's obviously insignificant in terms of the movement through the strait. It was more a symbolic thing by the Americans. But President Trump, a few minutes ago, has said that we have mutually, this is based on the request of Pakistan and other countries, he says, we have mutually agreed that while the blockade will remain in full force and effect in the Strait of Hormuz, Project Freedom, which he describes as the movement of ships through the Strait of Hormuz, will be paused for a short period of time to see whether or not an agreement can be finalised and signed. So I think the significance of this is that having just imposed this, it looks to me like President Trump is hoping that this leverage, this latest chess move of his to try to get ships through the strait was enough to convince the Iranians to sign something. And so I think based on that Truth Social a few minutes ago, I think although this is the fog of war and nothing is certain, I think this means we are a little bit closer. You get the Iranians over history have been smart. Donald Trump talked about killing their civilization when he said a civilization will die tonight. The Persian civilization's been going 3,000 years. They have fought many battles in that time, and whatever people say about the regime in Iran, I've seen them up close and they are brutal. The Persian culture is one that has always handled many of its battles, like the Iran-Iraq War. And so I think the Iranians see that they have Donald Trump over a political barrel and they want to really drive that home. So to me, this now looks like Donald Trump is retreating, Donald Trump's blinking. It looks to me like Donald Trump's showing weakness now. And so if the Iranians now come to the table from an apparent position of strength, the closure of that Strait of Hormuz, I think that there's much more likelihood of a deal being done fairly quickly.